Yes, peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm coming to you live and in full effect, like they used to say back in the days. This is a pop-up live, and I wanted to go live real quick. Don't want to get on camera because it's very early as I'm recording this, but I want to go live real quick and drop this information on your head top, upon your head top, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This is a special holy day, all right? A holiday or holy day for the spiritual esoteric beings. And there is a lot going on uh, in the cosmos, right? And as people, original indigenous people, we are people who do not follow the law of the land, right? We do not follow the experts. We do not trust the science. We do not believe all women or all men, right? But what we do is we tap into natural phenomenon or the Netzeru, right? The natural, which is where the word natural comes from, the Netzeru, which were the Cometian or the Egyptian gods, and we take our cues on what to do from natural phenomenons and essentially ride those waves, all right? Or we tap into these portals, right? And right now we are under a Lions Gate. You know, last week there's a lot of videos on the internet I'm sure you've seen or scrolling through your timeline about this Lions Gate, right? And how you're supposed to shine and roar and be bold, right? And put yourself out there, and you're supposed to shine like the sun. You're supposed to be the star that you are. So you should be doing that during this time, putting yourself out there, looking yourself in the mirror, before work. Every time you walk past a mirror, you want to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful, how handsome, how gorgeous, how great you are, how powerful you are, right? And see yourself and know that you are enough where you are, and you're only working on growing and getting better, right? So now let's get into it. Uh, so this is just to preface what we're talking about and why we tap into these astronomical events and use astrology as a cue to perform certain magical and mystical acts. Shout out to everyone who's coming in the building. I appreciate it. All right. So let's step into this because I want to get this done. So let's pull up. So this is the Mars Jupiter conjunction. So let me present this on the screen really quick. And the Mars Jupiter conjunction starts today. So I pulled up this article, right? So you can look at it, right? Let me just make sure y'all can see what I'm saying. Boom. Okay, here we go. So the Mars Jupiter conjunction, right? Now I'm not going to go through each zodiac sign. Obviously, I presented you an article right here, so you could simply do the legwork and read this whole thing if you want to know about your exact zodiac sign. So, what the Mars Jupiter conjunction means for you based on your zodiac sign. So it says this intellectually savvy conjunction on August 14 marks a period of enthusiasm and mental exploration. All right. And there's also 5 planets in retrograde, which we'll get into. But the Mars Jupiter conjunction, right? Very powerful planets. And let's just get into a little bit of the article and we'll talk about a little more, get into the esoterics a little more, as far as the deities that govern it and so forth and so on. So it says, expect a surge of motivation to pursue new ideas and engage in thought provoking conversations as Mars will team up with Jupiter on Gemini on August 14th, which is today. So today is August 14th. Says this cerebral conjunction marks a period of enthusiasm and intellectual exploration, whether you're seeking to expand your perspective. All right. Now, everything is perspective. Everything in your life is perspective. You and I could see, a woman, and one person could think she's beautiful, and one person could think she's not attractive, right? your perspective. Some people see sunny days and they're like, why is it so sunny all the time? Some people see sunny days and enjoy it. Some people like to walk around in the rain and dance in the rain. Some people hate to go out in the rain. Everything is based on your perspective. All right. So it says, when you're seeking to expand your perspective, and this is the key to any magic or any metaphysical outing, right? Perspective. And perspective is like this, just to give you a little more concrete reason why you have to have a positive perspective, because everybody talks about being magical and being high vibrational, right? But your third or eye, or opening your first or third eye, is really about expanding that, right? And it's kind of like what they call the placebo effect. The placebo effect is essentially perspective. You're sick, you go to the doctor, right? And the doctor prescribes you some pills. So you take the pills because the doctor prescribed them and told them that if you take the pills, you'll be healed. But what the placebo effect is your perspective, because you think that these pills are going to heal you, right? You take the pills and you become healed. This is what they call psychosomatic, right? But these pills, you discover later, are really sugar pills, right? And most of the medication they give you now, I believe it's over 60% of the medication they give people are placebos, right? Are sugar pills. So basically, your mind is doing all the work to heal your body because it's mind over matter. So with magic or any type of esoteric or occult workings, your perspective, right, has to be one of, as the Christians say, faith, right? You have to know that this is going to happen. You have to have uh, uh, you have to be convinced that whatever ideation, whatever visualization, or whatever you're trying to conjure is going to happen. Without that, you have to essentially placebo yourself. And without that, nothing will take place. Even with this portal, if you doubt yourself, right? If you doubt that you're in a lion's gate, if you doubt that Sirius is at the horizon and this is a energetic time for abundance and growth, then you could maximize, it won't happen. All right. So perspective is important. So this is a great time to expand your perspective, right? Or pursue a passion project that questions your curiosity. This dynamic alignment brings forth the opportunity to turn your aspirations into reality. And of course, that's what we all want, right? This is Leo season. So Leo is that lion energy, all right? That energy of going after what you want, the energy of passion, uh, the energy of, being the king of the jungle, so to speak. So in order to be the king of the jungle, you definitely have to put forth, right, these aspirations into reality. So it says Mars is the planet of action, drive, energy, and passion, right? Mars is also similar to the deity that is the deity. Um, who is Mars? Mars is Ogun, right? The Iron Warrior, right? Uh, Mars is also in the Kemetic mythology is Hera Kahuti, right? So you could, do your workings with those particular deities if you want. But again, we're under this planetary portal. So it's literally in the air. The energy of Okun or Herakuti is in the air right now. And this is a Mars Jupiter transit. So with the Mars energy, it's about taking a step, it's about moving forward, it's about actually taking physical action. All right. It's about actually making a move towards what you want to get, right? It's like, you're in the club and there's pretty girls, right? All around the club. And, you've ever been to a club and see, the guys separate and the girls separate, right? And nobody's talking to each other and everybody's dancing with themselves or around themselves, right? Well, the Mars person in that situation is going to be the guy that breaks away from all the other guys, or the girl that breaks away from all the other girls and talks to the guy or talks to the girl, right? This is the person that's aggressive, that makes that move. So you have something in your life that you may have been, laid back on, that you may not be taking action on. You have a vision, but you know that there's a step that you need to take in order to conquer that vision, right? So this is about taking actual steps, right? Whether it's you need to start grounding more, whether you need to start meditating more, whether you need to set up an altar or light more, or light your altar more, even if it's just white candles for your ancestors to let them know, that you appreciate them and the wisdom and guidance and for even getting you this far, you know. Um, and so Mars is really about making that effort. So today you want to take a step and you will get quote unquote more luck by taking the step. You'll be presented with more favor, as the Christians say, for taking that step, right? It's like you're literally getting pushed in the back, right? And saying, getting encouragement, like, go, get out the nest, right? Get out the comfort zone of where you are. So, really, and Mars is that warrior energy. So, Ogun is definitely a warrior. So, holding that big axe and working with that iron, right? Creating things. So, that warrior energy, sometimes in war, things have to be sacrificed, right? Things have to be sacrificed. So you want to sacrifice a habit, right? Then this is the first step of the alchemy of today. You want to sacrifice some sort of habit. And if you sacrifice this habit, whether that habit, is you want to read for 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, you might have to sacrifice going to bed late. You want to lose some weight. You might have to sacrifice, late night meals. You want to stop smoking or something, or stop doing drugs. You might have to sacrifice hanging around certain people, places, and things, So, what are you willing to sacrifice, right, in order to achieve your goals? This is not about, sacrificing cattle and chicken and people and things like that. The real sacrifice are habits uh that don't edify you, or habits that put you in a space of where you're not maximizing your God potential and the divinity within you, right? And as I always say, we all have ups and downs, but it's about how you bounce back, right? And this is one of these bounce back windows. So it says again, Mars is the planet of action, drive, and passion, right? Whether in our birth charts or the present moment, can describe our levels of assertion and how we tackle challenges, right? So we all in life again have challenges and go through ups and downs. But the more optimistic, speaking of mysticism, right, and magic, speaking of the placebo effect, which I've talked about earlier, the more optimistic, or the more your perspective, right, will depend on how you handle challenges. See, the real goal of understanding mysticism, of understanding magic, is not just to manifest material things, not just to get a car and a house and a boo and girlfriend, boyfriend, and lived in the lap of luxury. Although magic can provide you these things, although mysticism can provide you these things, because ultimately, you know, you have a clearer mind when you have more resources, right? But money, all it provides really is comfort, right? It doesn't provide happiness. It's not going to make people love you. It's not going to make you a better public speaker. It's not going to make you comfortable around the opposite sex. It's not going to make you more optimistic in life. It's not going to make you healthier. It's not going to give you emotional intelligence, so you know when to do something or when not. It's not going to provide you wisdom, right? All these things. It's not going to make you more loving and understand what love looks like. It's not going to help you enforce boundaries in your life, right? None of these things money could do for you, right? So uttering a certain perspective about how you tackle challenges, right? And the level of energy, you put into tackling challenges. And really, the energy that you put into handling any challenges is the energy of joy, right? If you don't have joy in what you're about to do and what you're about to create, right, and the new steps you're about to take, and you can't see, or as they say, begin with the end in mind and see the end goal and be happy about what that looks like, that'll push you through certain challenges and certain things that you don't want to do because you have an end goal and you've added the energy, right? And the passion, that Mars energy to it, right? So this is one of those days where you could do that easily. So it says, and it's a Mars Jupiter conjunction. So Jupiter is the planet which we talked about when I talked about the last video I did, Kamala Harris and mysticism. This Jupiter is the planet of abundance. It's the planet of growth. It's the planet of luck, right? It's the planet of expansion. It's the biggest planet in the solar system. And Jupiter ties into Lakshmi, which is all about financial abundance, right? But when we talk about Lakshmi, financial abundance, and things like that, again, money is just a means to an end, but it is something that we all need on any tree of life. If you're looking at the Kabbalah or the Kemetic tree of life, right at the bottom, there's either Malkut or Geb, and that is earthly resources, right? That is physical health. Without that energy, again, and those are Martian aspects as well, but without that energy, right? If you're not waking up on time to go to work, or you're not waking up to do your business or whatever during the day, and you wake up at 1 o'clock each day, right? You go to bed 4 in the morning, you waking up at 1 o'clock each day, right? You can't expect to, be in the space to do your job, right? You're going to miss out on certain opportunities, right, for waking up late, unless that's your job requires that, or so forth and speak. But you got to go to your job, and you got to be on time. So being on time, right, is also what these planetary alignments are about. So Jupiter, on the other hand, is the planet of expansion, optimism, and spiritual wisdom. Jupiter is also the planet of Tahuti, or thought, which is divine wisdom, which is spiritual wisdom and understanding. Also, Jupiter deals with Ma'at, which is the goddess of balance, unity, holistic thinking, holistic ideals, right? And higher spiritual principles. So with you taking the step, right? You taking this move towards whatever this dream, goal, or manifestation is, whether it's more money, whether it's love, right? Whether you need a new car, whether you need a new house, whether you need a new job, whether you're trying to expand or grow your business, right? Take a step today, somehow, some way towards that, right? And with Jupiter being part of the alignment, that is going to expand your optimism towards what that is. So let's say it's losing weight, right? Today you want to go to the gym, even if the gym is packed, right? After work, you want to go to the gym if you want to lose weight, just to be in that vibration of people trying to better their body. This is really how magic works. It's about creating little portals of energy that correspond to what it is that you're trying to manifest. Also, let's say, you're trying to manifest some money, right? You want to sit by a bank, you might want to gather some bank dirt from around the bank, right? You might want to read a book on, like a book that I shared before, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. You could pick that up, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel on Amazon, or any book on finance, or watch CNBC, things that, and look, you might, or watch a stock, something like that, right? Or whatever your thing is, whatever your vision is on how you want to get money, whether that's your own business, whether that's at your job, right? Figure out how to, get into the space where you're going to get a raise, or you're going to move up if that's what you want to do, or what your future vision looks like, right? And again, today, right, this is a planet where everything will expand, right? Optimism will abound in spiritual wisdom. And if you want to tap into the Lakshmi energy specifically, right, as I spoke of last video, you could tap into that Kamala mantra, right? You could tap into that Kamala mantra, memorize it, and go to town. And another thing that you could do is light up some rose incense. All right, rose incense, put some roses around you, right? This is also the time you want to be wearing your rose quartz crystals or having your rose quartz crystals around, right? Because this will allow your heart to expand as well, right? Your optimism to expand as well. And tap into that spiritual wisdom because, again, we are in Leo season. Rose quartz is one of the crystals of the heart, right? And this is about empowering your heart. Remember, your heart is the first thing when you are created, right? The heart is the first thing that forms in the womb. So it's about knowing what you want by heart. And maybe you have to write these things down, right? If you're not just going to, and you should write these things down in journal, right? And it says it represents our quest for knowledge and our ability to see the bigger picture, and it encourages us to explore new horizons and venture into the unknown. So, like I said, today, take a step, all right? Real quickly, on August 16, Mars and Jupiter will join forces in the buzzing and multifaceted sign of Gemini. So, Gemini, okay, is the planet where the catchphrase of Gemini is I think. All right. So again, your thoughts, your perspective is very important in order to activate this Mars and Jupiter energy. And while these planets are outside and are making their move, it's really about the energy that is within you. It's tapping into this energy because everything in the universe is a reflection of you. You are made of stardust, all right? You are the quantum universe. You are a part of the stars. You are God in the flesh. So you have to know that. If you think you're just a human, or if you think you're a black person, or a white person, or a Spanish person, and you identify with these human ideals as your identity, or if somebody asks you who you are, if you ask most people who they are, they're going to tell you what their job is, right? If you say, who are you? They're going to say, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a carpenter, I'm a baker, right? They're going to tell you what they do, right? But that's not who they are. That's just what they do. Who you are is the divine being. Who you are is a God here on earth. Who you are is a person that has the ability to manifest anything that you want if you are willing to put in the energy and the work, which is what Mars is putting that energy and that work. Like a lot of people in spirituality are just like, oh, just manifest it, just see it, think it, feel it, and it's just going to come. And that's one half of the equation, right? That's the H2 without the oxygen atom, right? You need both to make water, right? So you can't just, do thinking and feeling and things are just going to fall into your lap. You have to make some sort of increase the momentum, so to speak. So the sign of Gemini, right, is also a sign that represents the lungs. So meditation today is crucial on these visions, okay? Either today or tonight, but you definitely want to get this meditation and then drop the seed. This is the Lionsgate energy, okay? This is the area of Sirius, all right? This is what the energy that we are in. We're in that normal energy. And you also want to have an affirmation, in your head, which I've given you the Kamala mantra in my last video I did. So check out the channel, how to use Kamala Harris, the mysticism for your benefit, all right? And so this is, the energy of today. The merging of Mars' hot passion and Jupiter's optimism creates momentum and inspiration, specifically in the realm of communication and intellectual pursuits. All right. So, and we also have this 5 planet retrograde, which I'll get into real quick. All right. A lot of you already know that Mercury is in retrograde. Mercury is the planet of communication. And no, I don't want your cookies. This wasn't even up, but we're gonna do this. Let me make sure y'all can see what I'm seeing. Okay. So there's 5 planets in retrograde right now, right? So, and we have these 5 planets, let's just read this. As August draws to a close, we find ourselves with 5 planets in retrograde, and more soon to encounter this backward motion known in astrology as retrograde. The lineup includes inner planet Mercury, as well as, and that's already going retrograde, as well as several that sit further away, including Saturn, Chiron, Neptune, and Pluto, right? So this is all starting today as well. So this Jupiter Saturn Mars Jupiter conjunction is coming together, all right? So you could think of it as, Mars is a planet again. So you consider it the lucky warrior today, right? Today is the lucky warrior. If I was to simplify the Mars Jupiter conjunction, I would call it the lucky warrior, right? And then you have Mercury, which deals with communication, transportation, technology that's going retrograde. But it's also about reviewing. Mercury is also about reviewing your inner thoughts as well, right? Your ideas, because Mercury is also the planet of the deity thought or Tahuti, right? And that's all about spiritual wisdom. Tahuti's the god of magic, science, mathematics, anything that deals with higher wisdom, high logic, right? But in a holistic manner, right? Um, Tahuti deals with all of that, and that's where Mercury comes in. Technology, all of that, all those higher creations, right? And we have Saturn. Saturn deals with structure, right? And so you want to look at, your structure in life, right? If you have a goal, right? If you want to manifest things, there's certain things you have to do, whether it's new moon, full moon rituals, whether it's sun rituals, right? Whether it's grounding, whether it's journaling, whether it's putting offerings and learning about these deities and putting offerings, whether it's putting offerings for your ancestors on your altar, right? Creating an altar again, studying magic, creating your own spells, learning how to create spells, right? All those things are Saturn, right? But right now, right, because of the energy of the Lion's Gate, a lot of what you say inside your self talk and what you say to yourself in the mirror, right? What you tell yourself are part of your plans, strictly because of the energy of Leo. And that's that bold, what you say you are, the energy of Leo is I will. So what you will into existence, again, that Mars energy, right, will come to pass, Jupiter, right? And so Saturn deals with the spiritual power that you need and also the structure, right? Because structure, discipline, right? As in the words of the great Dead Prez, makes things easier. You have Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. And Chiron pretty much deals with, you came back here, you were resurrected here. You came here to this planet to heal some aspect of your past generations or your past life or your what they call your ancestral trauma or your generational trauma, right? You come here to heal an aspect of that. And what you want to do is look and pull up a chart. Go to astro-seek.com, pull up your birth chart, see what your Chiron is. And just, even if you saw it before, if you learned about it before, just check it today. Go back and check it right today and see what that is and see, what it is that, you may need to do to work on whatever that is and tap into that Chiron, because that Chiron is going to be what's holding you back and one of the challenges that you have to overcome. But again, today, Mars and Jupiter, right? Mars is going to, if you take the step, right, and look at it, you're going to get a clearer picture because Mercury is retrograde. So you're going to be able to go back in time. God is a time traveler, first and foremost. If you call yourself a god, you're a time traveler. And as a time traveler, you're also an empath because you have to be able to put yourself in those spaces and feel yourself in the 1500s. You should be able to feel what it's like to be Caucasian, feel what it's like to be Asian, feel what it's like to be a slave master, feel what it's like to be a hooker, feel, right? You should be able to put yourself in other people's shoes, right? And put yourself in other people's times. And guess how? And I'll tell you a way that you do that and you don't even realize it. When you watch movies that are period pieces, even though Game of Thrones is a fictional time, but if you're watching Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons, right, those represent, different time periods, the Gilded Age, right? Downton Abbey, you know, Gladiator, Spartacus, right? You're traveling back in time, right, to experience those things. And if you're watching these things for seasons and hours, then you've been emotionally invested. You actually feel like you're part of these adventures, right? You're watching it, but you're emotionally invested. So this is the same thing you have to do with your past. And you could change the stories around your past with that energy of Neptune. One of the energies of Neptune is, really spiritual vision, right? Your imagination, your psychic ability, right? All these things that deal with perspective, right? And how you feel also about glamour, right? And grammar, right? Other two forms of magic that a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about the planet Neptune. But these are the planets that are in retrograde, right? How do you feel about celebrity, right? Um, what do what psychic abilities do you have? What creative abilities do you have, right? Neptune is a planet that deals with flow and water and the trident, right? The trinity within you. So mind, body, soul, right? As they say, body, soul, and spirit, you know. And last but not least, Pluto. Okay, Pluto is the planet of transformation. Pluto is the planet also that deals with destruction, So, what are you going to destroy, And also look at Neptune with psychic abilities that you want to manifest as well. So, when you're doing all this magic and all this, intention setting and all this sacrificing and all this, movement, again, you want to, what is going to be your reward for doing this? You want to have a vision of what that reward looks like, because that's going to give you joy and that's going to keep you going. When Mike Tyson trains to be a professional boxer, right? You think he wants to wake up in the morning, or Muhammad Ali wants to wake up in the morning and run and lift all these weights and throw all these jabs and all this stuff? No, that's not exactly what they want to do. They do it and they enact the discipline because the vision that they have at the end of it is to be a world class boxer, is to win the championship or the title belt or whatever. And that vision is the joy or the Martian energy, the spiritual power, that Saturnian energy, discipline, right? To keep them going, right? And the reason you deal with something like Chiron, your past or your past trauma, right? Or your wounds, is so that you could be lighter than a feather, right? Those things are not preeminent on your mind when you go out into the world. You don't hate women because you hate your mother. When you have bad instances, your first girlfriend broke your heart, right? So now when you deal with women, you don't have that energy, right? You're lighter than a feather. You're able to be more empathetic, be more of an empath, and put yourself in their shoes so you understand them better. Vice versa with women and men, right? You're able to understand them better and you're able to be at peace. So even if this person is a piece of trash, right? You still were able to understand. And 9 times out of 10, you're able to see it earlier, right? Because you understand what that looks like, because you understand what it looks like in you as well, because everyone is a reflection, and you understand that it's possibly your pain that may be attracting this person to you, or it's your pain that has you repeating the same cycle over and over. Like, for instance, I'm watching this girl, right? There's this girl on my timeline, and she's dating people, and she's sharing it, on her timeline. I think she's on BLK, the at BLK, and she's like dating the same guy over and over, right? Same guy, flashing money, not a lot of, not saying just flashing money, looking like they're rich, and she keeps dating these same guys and having the same trash outcomes. Now I'm not saying through a dating app, right? That you can't find love or you can't find the man or woman of your dreams. But you have to also say, okay, maybe I'm dating a certain archetype, right? If I'm dating just hood niggas, right, that look like they have a lot of money, I'm not vetting their personality. I'm not vetting their conversation before I go out with them. I'm not really getting to know who they are, how they think, how they feel about their children's mother. How do they feel about finance? How do they, handle arguments and emotions? Are they extra aggressive? Are they violent? How do they talk about other people? Um, you know, what type of foods, things that they watch, music that they listen to. These things are all important. What type of resilience do they have? What type of hardship have they overcome and gone through? These things are important when you see partnerships, right? But people don't do this type of work on themselves, so they're not able to see that reflection in others. And then what they want to do is cast blame on the other people instead of them evaluating themselves. And this is what this spiritual work is really, 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 this mystical esoteric work is really, really for. It's for self-transformation. It's for self-deification. It's for it ultimately to have the knowledge of self so you could have the knowledge of others and all around you. And this makes you a Tahuti. This makes you a thought. This makes you an Osir, an Osiris. This makes you a god in the universe. But if you're not tapping into, you know, these different moon events, these are our holy days. Full moons, new moons are our holy days. Jupiter and Mars conjunction. These are our holy days. 5 planets going retrograde at the same day that there's a Jupiter, right? And Mars conjunction. Like, these are our holy days, right? And this is part of doing the work, right? Using planetary hours and things like that, right? For your magic and your spells, right? This is part of doing the work. So I just want to come in and drop this real quick on your head top, right? And hopefully today, and there's a window, because this is actually, let me see something. This is actually, let me just go into this real quick. So it says, what does it mean when planets are in retrograde? So let's just read this. No matter what we humans think life should look like, retrogrades remind us that the path is not linear. Although many of us may feel comfortable during experiences that are direct and straightforward, are we forgetting the rest of the picture? You all right? So our paths are not linear, right? We got to really look at everything. As the planets in our cosmos take a moment to retrace their steps, this is the retrograde energy. They take us on a journey through our past actions, selves, experiences, desires, and expressions. All right. God is a time traveler, and God is able to, right? God is omnipotent, right? Omnipresent, right? Omniscient. So we have the ability to download information, right? Through our ability to attract light, right? Through reading, through study, and also just being outside in the sun, right? You have the ability to download information through the ultraviolet rays of the sun, right? Through solar flares and things like that. And during the retrograde, this is the time, right? While this sun is out, while we're in Leo season, while we're having these solar flares going crazy at the maximum, for us to also, look back during the retrograde and today, or through this Lionsgate window, right? Until, next month, we're still in this Lionsgate window. So this is the time, right? If you want abundance, you want success, you want good people in your life, you want great friends, You want great lovers. You want people you could trust. You want people you could trust around your children, right? You have to be able to know what to look for. You have to be able to understand what cunning looks like, right? You have to be able to be, as I always say, in this world of snakes, be a charmer, right? You got to be a snake charmer. But how can you do that without looking back at yourself and looking at what may be your flaws, looking at your childhood, right? Going back in the 80s, the 90s, right? Look, the early 2000s, right? Or whatever your age is, the 60s, 70s, right? And look back and look at these past experiences and how they're shaping you and how they're affecting your decisions. If you go to any psychologist, the first thing they're going to talk about is your childhood, because your childhood affects who you are. And it's going to affect also the potency of your magic. It's going to also affect the potency of your healing. It's also going to affect the potency of your transformation. So, again, today is a powerful, powerful window, right? And I would encourage all of you to take some sort of step. So, says through a retrograde, we experience what needs to be witnessed so that it may be worked through. The endings that never truly ended are in need of reviving or final closure. The old ideas that entered our consciousness before we were ready. The old ideas that entered our consciousness before we were ready. Okay? So think about that. The things you were introduced to by your parents or your neighbors or, your cousins, aunties, right? Things like that you weren't ready for, you know? And go back, and forgive yourself. Go into your meditations and reprogram these events. Not to say that they didn't happen, but so that you could conquer them. You could go into your imagination with a sword. You could go into your imagination with a knife. You could go into your imagination with an army, with tanks. You could be a ninja. You could be Superman, Superwoman, whatever you want to be. Black Panther nigga, Gem, He-Man, She-Ra, whatever you want to be. You could be in your imagination, right? And Leo is about the heart. Okay, it's about the heart, cleaning and purifying the heart so that you have the energy to rise up through the higher three chakras, right? The heart chakra is in the chest, but that's still a neck down consciousness. So with you healing that heart, now you're able to, again, the heart is green, right? So green is a connecting color, right? If you look at items that are like health items, right? Normally the items are green and white, right? Because health and heart are anagrams, right? If you jumble the words, right? Health and heart are the same thing. Heart and earth, right? Are the same thing. They're anagrams. So heart and earth, right? The jumble of words. So green, the color green connects you to everything that is on the planet Earth. So green connects you to the earth, right? That's why we have a symbiotic relationship with trees. We breathe in oxygen, give out carbon dioxide, and the trees take in the carbon dioxide and give us oxygen, right? There's a symbiotic relationship. We need trees, right? This is why sitting by a tree, especially an old tree, you sit on that tree or next to that tree, or even do certain rituals like burying things by old trees or burying things by the roots, right? You could actually you could root people, you could root ideas, right? You could root intentions. You could even grow money that way, burying money, right? Buy trees, and certain other items, buy a tree, because that's the ultimate connecting energy. But going back to cleaning and purifying the heart, right? The color pink is for heart healing. This is why rose quartz is such a powerful heart healing crystal, right? Also, if you want to memorize things by heart, right? Memorize the things by heart. That means you know it without necessarily thinking about it. It's part of your heart, right? So it's like the alphabet. You know the alphabet by heart. Nobody has to tell you ABCs. By now you know it by heart. So the scent of rose, just the scent of roses improve your memory. So if you have kids or children, guess what? You want to get them a humidifier, right? And put some rose essential oils in there and prepare them for this next school year. All right. All your children should have diffusers if you can, right? So this is again reviving consciousness, right? The old ideas that entered our consciousness and reprogramming them and requiring us to understand and release them. And the stories that need the kind of reframe that come from looking at them anew from a more recently acquired perspective. So you're watching all these videos on these channels and listen to all these mystics, right? And hopefully you're doing the work, right? Learning who you are, what you are, changing your perspective, changing the people you're around, changing the content you listening to, purging your timeline, so to speak, like Loki and them, like the TVA purging your timeline. Shout out to the Loki fans. And reframing your past the way you want to reframe your past that shows you as the winner, not the loser, right? And gaining a sense of peace of mind, right, from this newly acquired perspective. So go get your birth chart, go to astro-seek.com or just type in on the internet free birth charts. There's plenty of websites that do it. I like Astro Seek, and look at your birth chart today, right? Really look at it and deep dive in it and reflect on it and see, what ideals it is that you need to look on, because that's going to help you maximize this particular Mars Jupiter conjunction. Jupiter is the planet again of abundance. You want the shmoney? There it is, right? You want the luck? There it is. You want the wife, the husband? There it is, right? But you got to take some steps and you got to make a sacrifice, right? The Mayans and the Aztecs, they used to sacrifice humans because they didn't understand, right, that the sacrifice to the gods was not about sacrificing flesh and blood. It's about sacrificing the spirits in you that may be tied to your past, the spirits in you that may be holding you back, right? The spirits in you or around you that may be, uh, you know, that maybe that just need to die. There's a time that they need to die, and you need to kill them. You need to kill that my mom did this to me. You need to kill that my dad did this to me, or my mom abandoned me, or we're an adult. Yes, it happened. Yes, it's tragic. Yes, it's troublesome, right? But you can reprogram how that feels. You can go back and look at it. You can go back and attack it. Mars energy, right? Be a warrior. Attack it. Really attack it, right? You want abundance and money, but right now you work at McDonald's, right? That doesn't mean anything, right? You work at McDonald's now, okay? So you're going to be reading books by Warren Buffett on how to compound interest, on how to invest in the stock market. You'll be reading books on business, right? You'll be watching videos on business, even if you don't have money. Because what you're doing is, again, you're taking that step toward what you really want, right? Let's say you want to start a jewelry business. You should be watching jewelry making videos on YouTube, right? Even if you don't have any money, even if you don't have $1 to invest in it, because what you're doing is changing your perspective, right? And giving it enthusiasm and mental exploration. So you're creating a portal. This is what magic is all about. This is why, like, if you do an abundance ritual, what do they tell you? Like, the things you add: bay leaf, right? Cinnamon. You could add some honey, right? You could add some sugar, right? Because what you're creating is a portal for your energy. Lakshmi, right? You're creating milk. Why? Because at one point, milk was a sign of abundance. If you had more cows and more cattle, you were considered rich. This is before fiat money was introduced, right? When they were bartering things, right? If you had a big farm, you were considered rich. You were a wealthy person with a big ass farm, right? And you still would make a lot of money with a farm today, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that was the only way. You had a lot of animals and crops, right? So milk, right, which is an offering for Lakshmi, right? And you could put some of these deities, right? We live in a digital age, so yes, I could refer you to a lot of books that I have, but I like to use things on the internet because this is the age we're in, Bobby and Panic and all them, rest in power to them, you know, but they didn't grow up in it. They grew up in the era pre-internet, you know. So you could put some of these deities, Lakshmi, Ogun, if you need more aggressive energy, if you need, you're procrastinating and you need to go to bed earlier, you need to stop eating at certain times, right? Or whatever your challenge is, right? You need to get rid of that man or get rid of that woman. You need to move to a new location. You need to save some money to do so, right? You need to slow down your consumerism, right? You know what you need to do, right? Take a step towards whatever that is. Make a sacrifice, right? And your mind will, the gears, right, will start to work, right? Your mind will start to work and visualize what the ending looks like, right? What your reward. Tell the universe what your reward will be, what you want your reward will be for these sacrifices, for you tapping into this energy. All right, I'm about to hit the gym, y'all, and tap into my working energy. I just want to say peace, power, and prosperity to y'all. Like, share, subscribe, leave it in the comments, right? What you think about this, what you want to work on. And this window is another portal, right? There's a lot of portals to 8-8. Again, we're on that Lionsgate window. So roar, shine, right? Really shine your light and, take advantage of this month of August. August is and let me share this real quick before I get out of here. August is a month, they have what they call Black August, right? And this is a month where a lot of melanated freedom fighters, have fought and rebelled, and won against what the law of the day was, or the morality of the day was, or the ideas of the day was. Nobody's idea of you matters more than you. Nobody's perspective of you in your life matters more than your perspective of you in your life, right? And you may have to fight, right? All my life I had to fight. You may have to fight, right? Fight the demons within, right? First and foremost, right? In order to be able to fight the demons outside, right, of you. And there really is nothing against you. No one or nothing could be against you because it's all you, right? It's just figuring out how to master it, right, and overcome it. But everything is a reflection of you. Every challenge that you have is a reflection of you. If you're dating the same person and over, it's you. If you're going through the same challenges over and over, it's you. If you're having the same money problems over and over, it's you, right? If you're having the same health issues over and over, it's you. There's nobody else you could blame because you're grown now. So you have to take that aspect and be a god of your life, right? No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you but you. And these revolutionary aspects, you could screenshot this, pull up this tab. Pull up this website, right? And check out some of the things that happen, right? For melanated people in August, right? The list keeps going on and 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 on. So what will this, from the slave revolts, all these different slave revolts and, uprisings in prisons and things like that. What is going to be your revolt? What seeds are you putting in the air? What ideas are you putting out there? What is your contribution to helping raising the vibration on the planet? Not saving the world, but starting with yourself, your family, and then your friends, which are your tribe, right? The people that you love, right? I don't subscribe to overall color, identity, politic, tribalism, right? I always say I think black is a curse. If you look at the word black, it's a curse. But I do think that we should all have friends of all races and cultures, right? People that reflect our ideas and our mission statement in life and want to encourage us and motivate us and we can constructively criticize when we're off point and when we're wrong, right? And we'll be able to accept that criticism knowing that it comes from a loving place. So this is the time where really you can make changes on a lot of all things that happen in August, right? Like even look at this, right? Marcus Garvey was born August, look at what Marcus Garvey did. You know what I'm saying? like, you know, freedom slave conspiracies, So this is the time in the window. This is all Martian. Whenever you see revolt, that's Mars energy to the T. That's Mars energy. That's warrior energy. Anytime you see a revolt, Gabriel Prosser revolt, right? Nat Turner revolt. You know what I'm saying? So what is it in your life that you need to revolt from? What is it in your life that you need to change? Who are the people in your life that you need to get around? These things will enhance your magic. These things will enhance your manifestation ability. Mercury is a planet of speed, speed healing, speed transformation, speed abundance, right? But you have to be in the portal and create these portals of energy to do so. So this Mars Jupiter conjunction, these Planet Retrograde, this month of August, really, really tap within, right? And let's make the magic happen, y'all. All right. This is where the magic happens. It's Leo season. I will. So what are you willing into existence? Your self-talk is very, very important. Even if, and I'm still going to different things, but let me share this last thing and I'm out of here. I gotta go to the gym before 7. All right, so let me do this and I'm gonna get out of here. That's the last thing, I promise. So, the Dogons, right? The Dogons dropped the word, dropped the said the gods came from Sirius, which we are in the Sirius gateway, 888 gateway, right? And that the Dogons from the planet Sirius, they came down and they dropped they said the nomos, right? Or the spirits that came to Earth. So the word nomo comes from a Dogon word that means to make one drink. To make one drink. Okay. The nomo are ancestral spirits in Dogon religion and cosmogony. But there's also, okay, this is what I want to say. So no more the ancestral spirits of the Dogon, right, which is a dog star, right? Dogon, the dog star, dog days of summer. And the Dogon still exist in Mali. You can research them and how they live. They live a very, very spiritual, holistic lifestyle, right? And are highly protected. Okay. Meaning the pilgrims don't fuck with them, right? There's a reason for that because they're doing their magic, right? And again, you can read about them today. The Nomo are the ancient spirits of the Dogon and are derived from a Dogon word meaning to make one drink. So this is the main thing. Nomo implies the power of words. Okay, the power of words to create harmony and balance. Okay, so the power of words, you automatically talk about Ma'at, right? Tahuti, right? You're talking about Heka, speaking things into existence to create harmony and balance in the face of disharmony. So this is something that, this is what spell, spelling, putting words together, right, is about. Okay, so again, that's self-talk. We're in the Lionsgate window. The Dogon, the dog star, right? Sirius is the whole Lionsgate. The Dogon or from the planet Sirius. Okay. So the words now, Mercury's retrograde, right? All these retrogrades are now very, very important to look at. So today, speak as positive to yourself as you can, right? And this other gate within a gate, right, is last thing, right? Because I believe, let me go back. Now I know that this is going to last for a minute. Yeah, because if you look at this, right, August 16th, Mars and Jupiter will join force in the sign of Gemini, which is great because Gemini is all about thought and intellect, right? So that ties into what I was saying in speech, right? If you've ever been around a Gemini, you know the motherfuckers like to talk, right? Geminis, I think, but they like to talk, right? That Kendrick Lamar is a Gemini, right? So you ain't gonna beat you're not gonna beat a Gemini in the war of words. That's never gonna happen, right? Ever. So they're the type of people that are about that talking life, right? So and very creative people as well. So this is gonna last. You have a window. I would say up if 16. This is gonna. It started today, right? The 14th, but it's gonna peak in Gemini on the 16th, right? So you have a And I would say just do this for this month of Leo, right? We got up until the 19th, right? We got the full moon in Aquarius. I'll talk about that. And yeah. And thank you for tapping in. Again, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, and drop a comment if you have a question or any feedback. That helps push the video on the YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate it. Peace, power, and prosperity, y'all, on this early morning or whatever you're watching. Later. Tap the FN.